Hello guys and welcome to round 7 of the 2016 Canadian Nationals. On the left we've got Christopher playing a Greninja deck, and on the right we've got Cameron Henderson playing a Water Toolbox deck. We saw a similar matchup to this in round 1, where it's playing the Max Elixirs and the Energy Switches, and the Grenade Hammer seemed to be really tough for Greninja to overcome, so we'll see if we get something similar to play out here.
Yeah, the Grenade Hammers with the Max Elixirs just definitely dominated that game. Greninja just could not recover fast enough.
Yeah, so we'll see if we get a similar situation to play out here. He did play Vileplume, but we never really saw that come into impact in the games, and the Glaceon might be just as good against, so he does play that, might be just as good against Greninja, so we'll see, but I'd say based on what we saw earlier, the Water Toolbox deck definitely seemed to have at least a slight advantage in the matchup. And
yeah, because the big thing that's going on with Greninja versus the Toolbox is they both play Rough Seas, or both benefit from it, except that the Toolbox benefits a little bit better because Greninja's whole thing is laying down damage, and every turn they're just going to heal it back.
Yeah, and the other big thing is Greninja's typically not one-shotting their things,
Nope.
whereas, you know, as soon as turn 2, really reasonably, the Water Toolbox starts one-shotting everything on their side of the field except Greninja breaks.
Cameron did get end into a pretty interesting hand. He has a VS Seeker, a couple energies, but I did not see anything else that's really going to help him speed
up. I didn't
up.
see an actual supporter.
Lysander's the only thing I see. Oh, he does have the Regice, but that really doesn't do much.
He hits a pretty much dead card. He might just be attach and pass. It's attach and pass here because there's no point to play the Lysander.
No.
So really, Christopher had a really good end there on Cameron to start this game, and that's definitely what he needs. And now, unfortunately, he drew another end, but he doesn't really need to play because he's got Greninja in hand, and he's going to be able to just water duplicates here.
And he just watched Cameron lay down a Regice, attach energy, and pass. So he knows that he doesn't have too much in his hand.
Yeah. But the thing is with this deck, if they can get going off of one card, they get an Ultra One, we are off to the races. Because like any Max Elixir deck, you hit a bunch of those, and your board state can change on a dime.
Christopher does have a pretty good board state now. 3 Frogadiers on the field.
And a Froakie.
And that Froakie ready for that rare candy.
And then the other big thing is he's got the Shadow Stitch in Greninja in his hand, so next turn he can Shadow Stitch and turn off Shaman.
Yep.
Which, you know,
Cameron does get a Toad, which is nice, but he just doesn't have anything to do with that hand. His hand is just stuck.
Yeah, so he's going to Lysander the Froakie and hope to get a pass or, you know, save himself a turn here. He's going to read Second Bite. Basically, it does 20 damage, 10 more for each damage on your opponent's active. That's not going to do anything.
With Rough Seas, it's just going to disappear.
Yeah. The big thing here is Crystal Ray, where it's got Jolteon's attack except for evolutions. So when Glaceon uses Crystal Ray, evolution Pokemon can't hurt Glaceon. And that is huge in this
That
matchup.
is very big, especially with Rough Seas. Now that's less damage that Greninja is doing, and that is just a great tank for Cameron. But he's got to get rid of this hand. And Christopher just helped out with that end.
Yeah, Chris has got end because he realizes that if I destroy him passing here, this Glaceon is going to beat me. I need to be proactive and deal if I can't just sit here behind a Froakie.
Christopher was definitely forced into messing with Cameron's hand, which I don't think he wanted to do, but he knows that he could not sit there.
Yeah, he would have liked the Juniper, or pretty much would have liked the Juniper, or just even like some form of search or Water Energy, because if he at least gets Water Energy, he can like retreat and start Moonlight slashing here and get a 2-shot on it, but no luck. He's gonna have to end, and we'll see where he goes here. He
does get a Sycamore and a break.
So he plays 2 Sacred Ash, which is notable. It lets him Sycamore a little more aggressively than normal Greninja decks in the early game. And he's not able to get out of the active either, which is huge for Cameron.
Yeah, that Lysander definitely helped him out.
However, Cameron didn't hit a Water Energy immediately either, so neither deck is running, you know, optimally right now. So he's got ultimately the Hoopa, so I'm guessing he is getting himself an EX of some sort. Oh no, he's going to get himself an Articuno, so we did not see...
He's going for the aggressive prize draw.
Yeah, so we did not see this in Rob Davies' Water Toolbox-esque deck. So he does play an Articuno, and the other thing we saw there is we did see an Aurorus EX. Now, Aurorus isn't in all these Water Toolbox decks either, but it's actually very good in this matchup. I believe it's 4 Water Energy. You want to pull that card scan really quick. I believe for 4 Water Energy, it does 160. So for 3 ball, you can actually one-shot a Greninja break, which was one of the things that Rob was not able to do earlier. Was he was not able to one-shot Greninja breaks. That was a way that the Greninja player could stick around. It's going to be a promo, actually.
Man.
Yeah, it's not played heavily, but it is in his list, so that's saying that we might see pop up later.
Oh, here comes the elixir, and a Manaphy is on the bench, which means now he is all this free retreat.
Yeah, and now the question is where he's going to probably just put on the toad.
Oh, yep. Get that item lock going, or the grenade hammers.
I know it exists. Like, it's a promo, it's a lighter promo. Yeah, I believe it does 160 for 4 water. It's like, doesn't always hit the table.
I just don't have.
Okay. Yep. No. Okay. We apparently don't have a skin. Not a big deal, but that is something to keep noted is that it does do 160 damage for 4 waters and is able to one-shot Greninja breaks if it becomes a thing that matters.
Another Lysander play.
So he's going to Lysander up. He's going to just KO a Frogadier instead of Froakie. And then now he gets to set up for 6, which is great.
Oh, yeah. Running those cards. There's the third water energy.
There's the third water energy. So
and the Fury Belt.
He is able to use Crystal Ray if he wants to. And again, but the big thing, Chris does play Stormy Microphone, which we did not see out of the first Greninja player today.
Which is definitely going to help him make sure those numbers stay lower.
Exactly. He doesn't have to worry about actually having to get up for like 200 plus damage, because that's so hard for Greninja to do.
And here comes the Crystal Ray.
Again, so he's not going to be able to hurt this Glaceon. He will be able to always get rid of the, get rid of the Fury Belt at least, and that's a plus at the very least.
Sets down the break. Goes for mail. Oh, and whiffs. Keeps the Rough Seas in his deck, which I find interesting. I would want it out of the deck, so that way it's one less card you can draw into.
I'm not sure what his supportive return is if he does have one. Let's see. It looks like he's got a Megaphone.
There goes the Megaphone.
So get rid of some Fury Belts. Good play there. And gonna Sacred Ash back. The Frogadier. Yeah, just the Frogadier. Oh, God. Ugh. Not exactly what you want to be using the card for, but, you know.
He does have a Sycamore in hand, though, so it looks like he's trying to get what he can and then just going in with the Sycamore.
Yeah.
Hopefully trying to evolve that Froakie.
Yeah, into a Frogadier. Like, he's not excited to do what he's doing, but it's, it is what it is.
Yeah, you gotta go in sometimes.
So
another Greninja.
It's a Shadow Stitching, which is nice. So
okay.
It's a Watery. Oh, so we had a pretty reasonable hand here. We're gonna be able to Shadow Stitching. We're gonna be able to Giant Water Shuriken something.
Definitely a better hand than he had before.
Absolutely. I don't see. It's not be a secret. I can't see if there's a real supporter there. He's got mail. Okay, so yeah, this is actually a pretty solid hand. So yeah, he's got a lot of things he'll be able to do.
He's got the Wally in the discard, so if he does need an evolution later, he is good to go.
Transmail.
With the
he
VS
does get the die ball. Okay, I was gonna say if he whips another one, that's just real rough for him.
All right, so with these dive balls, he's gonna be able to set up his bench again. With all these Greninjas, these Froakies, Frogadiers, he's going to be able to stay a lot more consistent than the first Greninja deck.
Now, the one thing we have seen that is a little interesting. We haven't seen him be able to get a Remoraid out. And that is actually somewhat notable.
I haven't seen a Remoraid or an Octillery. Maybe he doesn't run in this one.
He might not run in his build. Because I do know some Greninjas do not actually play the Octillery line. But typically they play it as a 1-1. He just Giant Water Shuriken's the active, which will most likely be Rough Seas as long as Cameron remembers his triggers. Ultra Ball Way. He's going to get rid of pretty much Ultra Ball Way 2 dead cards, so great Ultra Ball for him. Not sure what he's going to get with it. His bench is full here.
Could be a fail, or could be another card he just doesn't want to draw into. Yeah, which we've seen a lot today, which is a good play.
Yeah, just getting the bad cards out of your deck that you don't want to use. I imagine he's getting a Toad, which to me indicates he might just be trying to get cards out of his top deck, because
Toad's not something you want to see in a top deck right now.
We're not seeing their hands either right now. I can't tell if Cameron has a supporter or not, or if he's just gonna be Crystal Ring again. See, he does have a VS Seeker, so he's got Nerf Fury Belt, which is really frustrating for Chris.
And there's the Rough Seas coming into play, taking Greninja's damage in half.
Yeah, and the other big thing here is he's got the VS Seeker, so he's able to just take another cheap price here, and let that Glaceon kind of just chip away.
This Glaceon is putting in a lot of work, denying Greninja an attack damage, and just knocking out small Pokemon for prizes.
Exactly. Yeah, and again, he hasn't even set up Seismitoad yet.
No.
I know he will be soon. It's that guy. So, yeah, we've got that set up. And so, he's got an Greninja break, so that's huge. He's actually going to be... So he can start KOing 120 HP things if he wants to, and that is actually a very relevant thing.
This is a really good setup for Chris right now, just because he is going to survive Grenade Hammers if those start showing up, and he is going to be able to double Water Shuriken since they are both on Shadow Stitching Greninjas.
Again, he's going to be also able to... No, this one is the XY.
Was it?
Yeah, this is the X water one. So we got so he can do 60. He can do 150. So
150 with shurikens. He hits 3 energies.
Yeah, if he hits 3 energies, I don't know if he plays 2 microphone or not. I know he plays 2 sacred X, so he might play 2 microphone, and that might be where the artillery space went to. So we're gonna see what he gets off of this end.
Getting those fairy belts off the field are going to be very important.
Yeah, but even so, it's just too good. Oh, he completely lifts water energy. So he finally gets a turn where he's able to like possibly do something here, and he just does not hit anything off of this end. He's got a dive ball, but like he doesn't hit any way to do damage, and that's a little frustrating for your Chris. Because this was a turn where you could maybe start, if you're able to hit 2 warranties, you're able to at least KO a Manaphy and start to hinder him a little bit in a way, but not able to do it.
Or if you just straight up water shurikened everything.
Yeah, like just not
right
able to
on
hit
the
it.
Glaceon.
Or yeah, not able to do anything here. So he's gonna be able to Shadow Stitch to turn off abilities, but not really gonna do anything that actually matters. Like, oh, he hits the megaphone here, so that's nice. I think that should clean out all of Cameron's Fury belts, which is really nice. So we're gonna see that. So yeah, he's gonna play the megaphone, clear off that Fury belt, and yeah, if he had actually hit the 3 waters, he would have been able to actually KO this Glaceon. But instead, he's gonna be able to just megaphone it away, and he's gonna have to figure out a way to do it next turn. And again, he's not hitting his waters at all right now. So he looks to not play the megaphone. So.
Oh, absolutely. You want to hold on to it just in case Cameron does play down another one. But now he knows that megaphone is there.
So I think you just play it and just hope he doesn't play another because he got rid of two already. So
Cameron hits 3 water energy with that elixir. He is good to go.
Yeah, so he's gonna be able to start grenade hammering relatively soon when he wants to. And again, like we mentioned earlier, that was a big problem for Greninja in the early games was they'll just grenade hammer you, and you don't have a good response to that generally.
And with Rough Seas, the grenade hammer's only downfall is just being wiped away. He's healing that 30 damage.
Yeah, exactly. Now the good news here is that with the 2 breaks and the water and stuff, he can one-shot this Toad that can't one-shot him. So that is actually pretty big.
He's just got to find those water energies.
Yeah, they're playing hide and go seek right now. He's going Rough Seas. Oh, is
he going for the item lock? Oh.
So Cameron here misplayed here.
Oh, there goes 2 water energies.
So,
yeah.
Because now even though he didn't do damage, the shadow stitching is still there because it only prevents damage and not effects done to it. So huge. Actually, that looms very large here because now he's down 2 energies for really no reason.
Yeah, and though Christopher is item locked, he now has the ability to do damage. He's able to put some things on the board.
I think right now Chris is okay letting Cameron burn through 2 energies if he has to sacrifice the item lock right now.
Now he has to hit 2 more elixirs, that is.
Especially since Cameron just basically forgot that he got Shadow Stitch because it didn't do damage. So that was a huge misplay on Cameron's part here.
And that's the tricky part about Shadow Stitching. It's very easy to forget because it's not like a Hexmaniac where you see someone play it. It's just it's in the card.
Yeah. So now that's a huge misplay on Cameron's part, and I think actually there's a good chance that comes back to hurt him. Because he lost 40 damage, and now what he probably should have done is he should have Crystal Ray just started to just pile the damage on you.
Absolutely.
And just keeping the Glaceon safe, he's gonna have to hit lots of frequencies to kill you. That's fine, because he has shown again an inability to even find water energies.
I think he was looking out for the fact that he's trying to stop Chris from water balling and dive balling and getting those Brokies and everything back on the field. Right. He's looking to keep his bench as limited as possible.
Yeah, but I think just
losing those 2 energies was not worth it.
Because he didn't account for that. Yeah. But I still think, given that, I think he should have just been trying to Crystal Ray and then set up a second bite thing or something. It's working. You don't broke it if it's not fixed, essentially. So he's gonna max elixir. So
those max elixirs with both water tool decks have been coming in clutch.
Yeah, I've only seen 1 miss max.
They are helping they're making up for the fact that Cameron did whiff those or lose those water energies.
Now the interesting thing here is he's putting the energy on the Articuno. So that to me tells me he's most likely trying to actually Lysander up the Frogadier and take 2 prizes here.
It's been very aggressive.
Again, I don't know how much I like that because he's going to burn the energies, and that Articuno is going to be an easy thing. So I think depending on how Cameron plays this, there's a decent chance we get to a board where he runs out of energy on the table.
Or he's just making sure that he has the setup to where even if there is only a non-EX left, he is able to take 2 prizes.
Right, but the thing is it's going to be really easy to Giant Water Shuriken the Articuno. At some point, Grizzler's going to hit his water energy.
Absolutely. He's going to hit a Fisherman. He's going to have the water energy in hand. Once again, item locked by the Quaking Punch, but the damage just goes right away.
Yeah, and he's actually got 2 water energies in his hand right now because he Moonlight.
He can
Slash.
double Shuriken and
Because Arcanu's only got the 120 HP, correct? I believe it's only got 120. So I think he'll just Giant Water Shuriken the Arcanum twice and just
take those energies out.
get a huge advantage here and just basically burn a turn for.
Yeah,
so
120. It's a prime target.
Essentially, yeah, he just again Cameron here's, he got a good start, but I think he's made a couple. So he's actually gonna
going for the Toad.
He's gonna go for the Toad here. Oh, because he's gonna be able to KO with the. This is insane. So he's gonna be able to KO the Toad and then Ace Trainer.
And hopefully get another energy.
Yeah, and again that Arcano is gonna be going down probably next turn and not actually. Maybe if he's lucky, he'll be able to kill the Fraudier and take 2 prizes. Now, I don't know how he's gonna KO these 2 Greninja breaks because he's burned through most of his elixirs at this point.
And he's losing the Grenade Hammer, which is the biggest damage output.
Second base, he actually does play the Aurora CX, which does 160, but that's not getting charged up anytime soon. That takes 4 energy to attack. So I think at this point, Christopher, Cameron's made, I think, in my opinion, 2 relatively major misplays here in his winning end, and I think that's going to end up costing him at least game 1.
Yeah, losing those 2 energies on the
he just
just hurt.
Forgot that it happened.
Yep, and there goes the Toad.
And then I think it was incorrect to put the water energies on the Arcanum because he's going to be able to Giant Water Shuriken it away, and you're not going to. And he's not even going to get the value. He's not even going to get to take 2 prizes off it because now it's a Greninja break. And
it does have free retreat now though because he did not Shadow Stitch. He did Moonlight Slash.
Right, but at the same time, like if you're playing on that, he's got the energy switch. I just think Cameron's like doing things in a relatively inefficient manner here in game 1. And again, Chris has just kind of been able to sit back and just eventually get to a point. Cameron made that. I think he shot himself in the foot when he threw that Glaceon and it seems to have steamrolled because the Quaking Punch didn't really do anything.
No.
Because Chris just kind of happened to draw his supporters and you don't know that, but even still, Greninja does play more supporters than most decks.
Yeah, the item lock is tempting. It's always nice to have, but at that same time, it's not important.
Yeah, he's
not in this setup.
No, I don't think. I think in this matchup, all you want to do is just pile the damage on, kill the Greninjas. Like, whatever guarantees you killing Greninjas is what you need to do.
Especially since Quaking Punch's damage just got erased by Rough
Seas.
Seas.
Didn't do anything. Yeah,
no.
What he's essentially done is he retreated a Glaceon that would have done damage, burned 2 energies, and then wasted 2 turns Quaking Punching.
Yep.
And then he wasted 2 more energies and put him on this Articuno.
And the only thing he accomplished was losing 2 prizes.
Yeah, and his Articuno is about to get Giant Water Shuriken to death, most likely during his next turn, and then he'll get Shadow Stitch. Like, Cameron went from what I consider to be a favorable board position to, I think, kind of misplaying himself out of the game.
And we've been seeing that. Like, there have been crazy board switches in the last few games.
But the last round was due to end. This is just
this has
just been I feel like self-inflicted, unfortunately. But we'll see if he's got some sort of plan here. Okay, so if he's gonna win this game, I think he almost needs to get the Aurora CX out at this point. I think that's really his only out right now because Arcanu's not gonna do enough damage. Regice doesn't do anything. Glaceon isn't gonna actually do anything.
Yeah. The moment that Frogadier evolved, Articuno lost its whole purpose.
Exactly. And the other thing too is Christopher's got him on 2-turn clock.
Yeah.
Possibly a 1-turn if he hits a muscle bane and some other stuff. Yeah, he's got him on a 2-turn clock, possibly a 1-turn clock if he hits muscle bane. He's able to put up a Shaman.
Yeah.
So this is a very not happy day for Cameron.
Like he's gonna be able to stop the Greninja damage, which is nice. With the Glaceon, he's gonna put him back in the active.
Right, he's gonna put Glaceon back in the active and stop the attack from doing damage. But the thing is Chris has 4-6 easy prizes on just board with Warshin because Cameron's had to bench Shamans and you have to bench Manaphy, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Had bench 2 Shamans, he's got an Arcanum that day that's basically ended up doing nothing but burn cards, and then a Manaphy and a Regice that's never gonna do anything in this matchup.
And was played and. Chris hit supporters for days.
He didn't hit any water energy. That's the important thing if you're Cameron.
I did not see a Fisherman in his discard either.
So he's trying to stall with Chilling Sigh. Like, if you're chilling, okay, he wakes up. I was gonna say, the moment you start chilling sighing is usually the moment,
Oh, and it looks like
No, he didn't do anything. He didn't see any. Okay.
He concedes. He misplayed and lost. He lost.
Yeah, and I think the moment the Greninja wakes up, like he knew that was his out. Was just trying to stall turn. And again, I think that game was. Yeah, he kind of just played himself out of that game. Again, part of it was like that Glaceon. He just assumed. He just forgot Shasta Champ. But even after that, I think he shot himself in the foot 1 or 2 more times.
Honestly, I think just retreating that Articuno in the first place, losing the energy or not, really kind of just put him in a position that
Yeah,
But he put him behind.
Yeah, he retreated the Glaciani. He then Quaking Punch for essentially nothing. And then we got, to the point where, Chris got multiple Greninja breaks set up, and Cameron didn't get the Aurora set up. So I think he's got to play better this game if he wants to win this. Now he is gonna go. He's gonna get to go first. This deck can win games very quickly. So I don't actually think time is a huge concern for Cameron.
And I mean, they still have 30 minutes, so that game didn't go by too long.
Yeah, I think. Again, the games Cameron wins are going to be very short.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be games where he goes first and he
Grenade
just overwhelms
hammers.
it with Grenade Hammer or Roar CX, and Chris just doesn't have an answer.
And that was a big thing we did see here compared to the first game with Toolbox versus Greninja. There were no Grenade Hammers.
Yeah, Cameron immediately went for the Glacian because that's what he started with, and but then he went away from it. Like, I think what we want to do in this matchup is like, if you're the Wild Box player, you want to get like one attack, just like ride it out for a while until you can start one-shotting things with a different attacker. Like, if he did something where he was like, he retreated and then like immediately started grenade hammering, it would have been a lot better than just quick punching.
Yeah, and the Aurora X would have definitely helped, but he already went through so many elixirs that he wasn't going to be able to pull through that late in the game.
He would not be able to pull it up. Actually, do we have Aurora CX that we can pull up really quick? Yeah, so this is what I wanted to show you earlier, but this is something that Cameron plays that Rob did not, and is actually a relatively large role part in this matchup if Cameron is able to get it out. It's basically a big water dude that is the only water card that is not Primal Kyogre that's able to hit the 170 number, and it's pretty hefty. So it also stops paralysis, which doesn't really matter in standard. But it's got 180 HP, weak to metal, so it does 160. Can't attack next turn, but again, you're using this to KO Greninja breaks. And there you go. That's the Auroras that we were talking about earlier. And he does play the card. We did see it as he was shuffling through. And that is something that could pop up in this matchup, as you can almost ride that to victory in this matchup.
Oh, yeah.
Or at least get rid of that Greninja break, and then once you get rid of the first one, things tend to get easier.
All right, so
we're starting with Manaphy, which is fine.
Yeah, he's going to free retreat it out with the water energies in hand.
He's
got the Ultra Ball. Getting rid of the Lysander and the Xerosic.
So he's off to a great start.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
He's
got Lysander, Xerosic in the discard. Things are looking pretty good. He got, 2 supports in discard, so he has some flexibility with his VS Seekers. And
you don't necessarily want to waste an attachment on a Manaphy, but you play energy switches anyway, so it's going to move.
Oh, he's on a... That's the Auroras that we were talking about. He's looking at Toad. He's probably going to go get Hoopa here.
Yep.
Hoopa is going to Scoundrel Ring. And he's going to go get Toad and Auroras and a Shaman. Okay, there we go. So, and Chris is actually reading the Auroras we just showed you. Again, this is like a promo card in some weird box thing. I actually don't even own it. I'll, make sure to pick up one. But yeah, it's played only in Water Box in some builds because it's the only Water Pokemon currently in, I believe, in the entire game. Well, in Standard, that can do the amount of damage it does as efficiently as it does. Again, Kyogre can also do it, but Spirit Link and whatnot. So you play the Auroras, hit the 170.
It will be interesting to see which one he chooses to drop the energies on. If he's going to try to go for the quick grenade hammers, or if he's going to go for the late game Auroras.
It's really weird because the thing with Auroras is like it can't attack next turn. I don't know if he plays any switching cards. So to effectively use Auroras, you almost have to use it as like your last attack to break through a Greninja break. Like I think you generally want to still go for the Grenade Hammers because Grenade Hammers is going to be better turns 2, 3, and
it's going to be great early game.
It's going to be better turns 2 and 3, and then Auroras is going to be better turns 4 and 5 if you go on that ideal clock. Which again, we've seen most of these water toolboxes tend to do that. So he's going to attach Manaphy first. I would actually start going with the Toad and just trying to Grenade Hammer quickly, but put the Fury Ball on the Auroras to hit that magic 170. Okay, he's thinking about it. Yep. Okay, he's going with the strategy where he's just gonna try to set that Auroras to probably KO 1 or 2 Greninja breaks because we're hoping that the Toad is able to deal with the first wave of things.
Sets up for 4, gets an elixir.
Gets an N. Yep. So he's got a nice hand refresh. He's got an elixir here. Now see if he can hit it.
He drew 2 water energy, so this is gonna be pretty.
5, 6. He gets on the last card. And this should go on the Toad exactly. Yeah. So he should be able to actually get off a turn 2 Grenade Hammer and just start taking prizes really quickly.
Yep, absolutely. Especially as the end, he's going to be able to refresh no problem.
Yeah, so if you're Chris, this is a game that you can actually lose very quickly.
Yeah, he's got to figure out which target he needs to go for immediately.
Well, I think so the immediate threat is going to be the Toad.
Absolutely.
Now, the other thing here is if you're Chris, the other thing that you have to keep in mind is that
there goes the end.
It's unlikely that Cameron plays any free cards. So if you're able to get into a Shadow Stitch and like Lysander up with Hoopa and then try to double Giant Water Shuriken things to death, that's also a very valid option. But again, we are not at that point yet. But this is definitely a much better start for Cameron. He's probably doesn't even have the power glitch. Like at this point, he probably has the 2 attackers he needs on board.
Absolutely.
Like he's just gonna like what you want to do is you're gonna need Toad, you're gonna need a Roar CX, and that's what you're supposed to do.
Yep. Toad's gonna sit there. He's gonna absorb a lot of damage, especially with rough seas that we've seen.
Oh, this is huge. So
Oh,
he hit
energy
a Wally.
switch.
Oh, but he doesn't hit the water. Oh, okay.
He hit the water energy. He hit the energy switch.
Oh, yeah, Chris here. So he hit a Wally, but he doesn't have the water energy to be able to actually do the water duplicates. Which, if he's able to get that off turn 1, that's actually very huge.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
there's the fruit tree into Toad.
Yeah, I think he hit. So he's got water energy. Yeah, he's got. So he'll be able to get turn 2 grenade hammer.
Absolutely.
I would energy switch here. Well, he's not going to, but I would have done that because if you Lysander's up something, that means you're gonna have to energy switch, attach water energy anyways to get out of it, and you're not gonna get the grenade hammer. So I would just water switch, energy switch now and hope not to get end out of it. So he's gonna dive ball.
Oh yeah,
so he does play.
Really bad.
He is gonna go for a Froakie. Yeah, he's gonna miss that water duplicates, and despite hitting the Wally, so he's gonna end up. He's gonna Wally. He's still gonna. Sure. I think he's still gonna get a Frogadier. I don't think I would Frogadier the active one though.
Yeah, because it's gonna get knocked out by a hammer.
It's just gonna get knocked out. So I think if you're gonna Wally here, if that's what you're committing yourself to, I think he's got 2 more, so I guess it doesn't matter that much. But yeah, this is not good. This game,
missing the duplicates. The fact that Cameron's gonna be able to hammer next turn.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a very quick game. Because he's got the grenade hammer already on lock. He just needs to not do anything that's not correct. He just needs to not do what he did game 1. Again, this is much different, but just gotta make sure you play tight. Do what you know you need to do here, which is just start grenade hammering. Okay, he's getting an Articuno.
Just to secure the prizes late game.
I am actually getting scared because again, we saw he plays Ricani, so if you feel to scare Greninja and you're attacking with Articuno instead of a grenade hammer, you're not one-shotting things. So I don't know. I hope he just is grenade hammering this turn.
Absolutely.
He just don't do anything cute. All you need to do here is grenade hammer.
Yeah.
And you will ride that grenade hammer to victory.
Absolutely.
So hopefully.
And gets a VS Seeker.
So he gets a VS Seeker. He's got Sigmar's discard, so that's fine. He's gonna fail because he already has a VS Seeker in his hand. So what I'm hoping he's still playing on grenade hammering and not being greedy with this Articuno.
Yeah, energy switch off of the Manaphy, put down the water energy on the Toad.
Because the other thing with Articuno is it's a base 40, so you still need to hit a couple heads and bad things can happen. Just do the game plan. It's a little slower, but it'll work. Yeah. Just believe in the system.
Interesting thing that we do not see a rough seas yet.
Yeah. So
that's pretty huge right now. Yeah.
Because he is going to be grenade hammering himself and hurting himself. So he energy. I don't actually like where this is going. He's energy switching to the Articuno instead of just actually grenade hammering, which means this Frogadier is not going to die. And I don't agree with this. The games you win are going to be because Greninja's not setting up. You're giving him an extra turn to set up, and right now a trainer isn't even in out form right now. The only outs from are supporters anyways. So why bother with it? I think he should just be
knocking out the Frogadier.
Do what you need to do. Take your prizes, and you lost game 1. You need to win this game quick. So by doing this, you're making the game slower, and you're just giving more bad things can happen by not just killing this Frogadier.
2 prizes are tempting, man.
I don't think he's doing for the prize. He just wants the quaking punch, which I think we sort of established the last game isn't necessarily a great strategy. I don't really like how Cameron's been playing this matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's gonna quaking punch. Now, at least there's not Rift, so the damage is sticking. But again, this Frogadier's just not dead, and now it's a Greninja. And why didn't you just grenade hammer it the first time?
Luckily for Cameron, though, Christopher has nothing. He has a Jirachi and a Lysander.
He's literally got 0 cards in his hand.
He can Lysander out that Hoopa and hope that, there it goes.
There we go. He doesn't have the water energy to actually Shadow Stitch. So, again, but already he should have already knocked out this Pokemon, and this should be a Greninja that's about to get knocked out by a Grenade Hammer. Instead, Chris has gained an extra turn by Cameron just not going with the game plan, essentially. At least in my opinion. I just don't like that he's not trying to end this game as quickly as possible, because the games you win are going to be the fast games that are quick. So we're going to see here. Hopefully he's got the... Now, the other thing, now he forced himself to either hit energy switch again, and, he's not going to KO this Greninja. So now Chris, at this point, might end up getting 2 free turns here. And again, you just don't want to mess with these things.
It's not impossible for him to top deck a Sycamore and get back in this
exactly.
game.
Or if he tops like Sycamore Rough Seas, these things are bad. And Water Energy is actually also very good here because he's able to like just get some chip damage in. Because now Cameron does have the Rough Seas, but if
he can't play it.
If you're going with Quaking Punch, then like you don't want to play Rough Seas. So I really, again, he's just given Chris basically at this point a free 50 damage after the Rough Seas.
Yeah. If
and
he
again,
plays
2 more turns to draw cards when, this is his 3rd turn that he could have been Grenade Hammering, and all these grenades this game could already be over.
And then the only thing that'd be left is Judicial, which next turn done.
Again, he's wasting time here too, because if he wants to win this series, he's got to win 2 games, so he's basically just wasted, a valuable 5 minutes and to not really accomplish anything. So again, I just don't like how he's approached this matchup that much. And it looks like he still isn't able to Grenade Hammer yet. And he's actually ultimately Rough Seas. So he doesn't. Yeah, I just disagree with how he's approaching the matchup.
Yeah,
this game should already be in hand.
And I get the item lock once again is very important, but in this matchup he could have had 3 prizes,
right,
and had Christopher down to nothing but a draw.
And again, Dive Ball isn't out for him because he doesn't play the Remedy or the Artillery.
Right.
It looks like, and the trainer's mail. Okay, if he hits it, but it's not like if he hits an item, it's not like he's gonna be out of nowhere gonna be able to KO your Toad. Like you're a 180 HP dude. He's actually just gonna be able to one-shot you out of nowhere. So again, it's still Cameron still looks like it's gonna be really hard for him to lose this game, but he's also got to realize he's playing against the clock and he's lost that battle.
Yep.
Like this game should already be over. Like because Chris has literally drawn nothing in these 3 turns.
Another energy switch. Look at that.
Luckily, he hits the energy switch so he can finally Grenade Hammer and
That's
KO this.
That's if he doesn't go for.
No, there's no way he's going for it. There's no way. Like, there's 0 chance he goes for that. There's no way you're that greedy, right?
He does have an elixir in hand though, so he might be able to do both.
No, just.
And he goes for the Articuno.
So I think he's gonna. So can you put? So it starts off with so he needs to 1 out of 3. So he should be able to get it, but like again, just bad things can happen when you're being greedy.
Yeah, and it's on a coin flip. That is risky when you're down a game.
Again, if he just Grenade Hammered, this game would
already be over. Yep,
so
they'd be going into game 3.
Yeah, again, I get that the Articuno is good in this matchup because if you do the chip damage, you do like your 60-60, and then your Articuno, but like in games where you can just sweep them under the rug quickly, just end it. Like I don't.
Win with style, man. Win with style.
Yeah, you've got 17 minutes. You've wasted 8 minutes essentially because this game should have been over.
That's
several
fine.
turns ago.
All right, so whiffs the first one, whiffs the second one.
Oh, so it's gonna come down to his 3rd one. Now, if he was
rolls off the table.
So trying again.
Hits the last one. 2 prizes for Cameron.
But again, he should have already taken 4. Like he's just wasted some time here, not valuable time that he needs if he wants to win this series.
He is in a position now though where he can play Rough Seas and start knocking that damage off the Toad and getting him right back
Chris
in.
Scoops the game.
Yep. Only because he did not hit a supporter.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Cameron gave Chris like 2 or 3 extra turns to possibly draw something. And again, if he hits tails on that, this game's still going on. And it gives Chris, if he draws anything, it gives him a solid chance of maybe being able to drag this game out to end and draw. Again, Cameron won the game. I don't like how he approached it, but we are going to be tied 1 game apiece. We are going to go to game 3 here. And again, Cameron's list should have a very good matchup against Greninja, but
Cameron did win with style though, and that is important.
I know it's not important. Like if he's tempting fate here. Like he should have won this game quicker, just Grenade Hammered, easy peasy. Because again, unless he like evolves in Wally's, like he's not gonna get a breakout, and even if he does, he's not gonna be able to one-shot your Toad. So
yeah,
again, he won the game anyways, but I just think he made it take more time than it needed to because it really could have just been Grenade Hammer, Chris goes pass, Grenade Hammer, Chris goes pass. Then that last word, Grenade Hammer, Chris goes pass, and that game's over a lot sooner than that. Instead, we waste some minutes, and those are valuable minutes for both players. As
we're going into the 3rd match
of winning it
of round 7, and. You know what's crazy though? If Christopher going, assuming he goes first, Cameron still has an opportunity to attack first with a Grenade Hammer.
Exactly.
It's crazy. We've seen these elixirs
happen a lot.
Run through and just give energy. It's not unheard of. Even just today, with a Seismitoad ending up with 3 energy first turn.
Exactly. Again, if Cameron hopefully will just Again, hopefully he realizes that there's not much time left. We got 15 minutes to play a full game between Rough Seas decks. If they actually get decently set, the games can go on for a while. So we'll see what happens here. But again, I don't like how Chris has approached the matchup. The Arcano is good in the matchup if it actually is worth it to Quaking Punch as opposed to Grenade Hammer. But that situation is just better just end the game. He's dead drawing.
Another mana if we start.
So that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, he's plays it on turn. So it looks like that sort actually does not look great.
I see a Rough Seas.
I see a dive ball. What have we got on his? We've got a level ball. So we're probably just a Froakie here because I don't think he plays the artillery line.
Yeah, I haven't seen a single Remoraid artillery.
Yeah, which is strange because
Man, how much that would have helped him last game.
Yeah. Because again, he had all the time in the world because Cameron decided to give him all the time in the world. So we're heading here to game 3, guys, and the winner of this game will likely be able to intentionally draw into top cut. And if they do tie, both players will be playing in a win in the next round most likely. So
absolutely.
Again, you don't want to be tying here. You just want to get your spot clinched. Like again,
especially with the positioning they have, this would be a great game to just take it and go.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not playing auto losses.
No, exactly. Yeah. So yeah.
This is a good match to take it.
Yeah, exactly. So Chris hits a dive ball, and I think Water Toolbox is favored in this. Like based on the games we're seeing, I think Water Toolbox is
with these energy
borderline a heavy favorite in this matchup.
With these energy switches and these max elixirs, they're able to put the energy where they need it as fast as they want.
Yeah, and again, I think I would legitimately say to me this matchup feels like a heavy favorite for Water Toolbox, especially if he's playing the Aurora CX.
And the moment that Rough Seas hits, Greninja it's hurt him.
Yeah, it's hurt. Like they both play Rough Seas, and for Greninja, it's basically a dead card. So like Greninja comes into the matchup with a couple extra dead cards that Cameron doesn't have. Like I legitimately do feel that Water Toolbox is a fair here, which for me makes it really unfortunate that Cameron took so long that last game because this is a good match for you. This is like you might not hit on our good matchup just consecutively again. So just try to get the game while the game is good. So Cameron here does something that I don't agree with. He actually opts to Sycamore away all of his Rough Seas. And like we were two of them. Like we were talking about earlier, Rough Seas is generally good for him
absolutely
and bad for Chris.
Yeah.
Because again, Chris is generally going to be trying to do chip damage, and
there goes another Rough Seas.
So Cameron, so what we've learned is Cameron really prioritizes Quaking Punch because he's trying to win this really long drawn out game, and I don't think that's the best way to win this matchup. I think the best way to win this matchup is to
tank and Grenade Hammers.
Yeah, capitalize on the fact that Greninja's biggest weakness is that it's like a turn 3 deck at best.
Man, this looks a lot like game 2 though.
Exactly, but there's is Chris has a real hand this time. So if Cameron is sitting there just trying to, screw around with, Quaking Punch, he's gonna have a couple more problems. So we'll see where this goes. But again, I think Cameron, Quaking Punch is good against a lot of matchups. I think Quaking Punch is not strong in this matchup. Like unless they just have all items. But like even still, you can just come on faster because again, Greninja's biggest weakness is that's a little slow. Cameron
might be able to force Chris to play the Rough Seas though if he is Quaking Punching him. Chris is going to take that.
But the thing is, why not just play it on your own and make your cards live? Like he just straight up sycamored it for no. He just straight up sycamored the card away, 2 of them away turn 1, and the card is beneficial to him in the match because look, your dudes have 180 HP or 220 if you have the Fury Belt on.
Yep.
So like you're gonna get more tank damage, and you're playing things that do 160 damage, 130 damage, which conveniently are perfect numbers to KO Greninjas. Like
the Articuno was a very interesting play. I mean, it worked out game 2. It did not work out game 1.
But all you have to do, if there's one thing I learned by watching Rob Davies' game, is all you really have to do is just Grenade Hammer them to death.
Absolutely.
And they can't beat that.
Nope.
They just don't have a good answer to it. If they get a bunch of Greninja breaks out and are able to like Saruken and Moonlight Skies do all this, sure. But like at that point, then you had a really slow step, and you were probably losing that game anyways.
Yeah, and Cameron's a disadvantage with the Quaking Punch this time, or the Grenade Hammer, because he does not have any more Rough Seas.
Yeah, exactly. He got rid of his Rough Seas.
All 3 of them.
So all of a sudden, your Grenade Hammer damage is now real. Granted, Mineral Pump does fix that. But still, you don't want to be mineral pumping. You want to be one-shotting everything. And I hate to be so critical, but I just do not like how he's been approaching this matchup at all.
Well, I got him game 2, so let's see if he can pull through for game 3.
Game two because Chris dead drew for
everything.
Yeah. But Cameron gave Chris an extra 3 turns to draw a supporter. Like that's not what you want to do. Not in this game. Not with N or Ace Trainer. Like, you take your 1 prize, then you just get Ace Trainer for no reason because, now you just have a total for Quaking Punch. He's got 6 cards, and you got 3, and you're sitting at a handful of water, and he's doing nothing.
Yep.
Like, it's just, I just don't like how he's been approaching the matchup. So, we are going to see an Ultra Ball here. I would imagine he's going to get either a Shaman or a Toe. He's going to go get a Shaman because it's really important to actually get the first prize here.
I haven't seen him hit any elixirs yet, which has been surprising for this game.
He had the first elixir because it was in a Sycamore hand, he didn't have bench Pokemon. So he's trying to hit an elixir and energy switch here to be able to mineral pump and KO this Froakie. And if he hits a Fear Bell, he is actually able to like mineral pump and KO a Froakie and then a Frogadier and then likely another Frogadier.
Which would be huge.
Which like, again, that's the thing. That's why I was saying you just want Greninja here because your first attack can take 3 prizes very easily because Greninja is a slow deck. And he hits
there goes the Fury Belt.
But I don't think he hit the elixir.
Nope.
So that's really unfortunate. So I think you still actually, I think you still might actually Fury Belt the Manaphy here. The other thing is he plays I think he plays 2 Megaphones, so there's a good chance it just gets Megaphone away anyways, right?
Oh, he
so
did pass.
And then this is great news for Chris, because that Froakie, you're not expecting that to survive.
Not at all.
And now you're going to be able to Water gets filled your bench, and this is the kind of game where he can actually win quickly because we got 2 Shamans and 3
and a Manaphy.
And
He was sitting there like this really close.
so Chris is actually in a relatively decent position to win this game.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, this is a game that,
No,
again,
yeah,
this is a game that Chris can actually win here. And the fact the rough seas might not even matter, but again, you know, and especially if Cameron goes for Quaking Punch, I think he'll win this game quickly.
Yeah, if he's trying to play that slow game and giving Chris the time he needs.
No, exactly. He's trying to Quaking Punch into like Shadow Stitchings and a bunch of Frogadiers. I'm gonna tell you, that is not gonna work.
No.
Like,
it is gonna force the rough seas down on Chris's part, but that's not gonna help Cameron enough.
Yeah, because he's gonna be going after Shamans and the Manaphy, and the Manaphy gets killed by double launch here.
Yep.
So we're gonna have Frogadier here, and again the thing here, Chris is.
He did hit an elixir though.
Well, yeah, but please, Chris here played really smart. So he had an N in his hand last turn, right? He chose not to play it because of how Chris has played in the previous 2. Cameron has played in the previous 2 games. He's anticipating that Cameron's gonna go for the Quaking Punch and essentially waste the turn.
Yep.
Like, so Chris made a very good play there that I want to make sure gets pointed out. So what's going to happen here this next turn?
Oh, the sixth card
But that's
again.
great for Chris because Chris wants him to Quaking Punch. Like,
oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think Chris knows that, like, if he's Quaking Punching me, I'm winning. Especially since he held the N in his hand and kept the... So he dive balled. So he's even baiting him. He's getting an item out of his hand to make him think he's playing all of his items down. So he's even baiting him into going for the Quaking Punch here. It's a very good play on Chris's part. And, again, based on Cameron's tendencies the past 2 games, he thinks that in this matchup he wants to be Quaking Punching.
He really doesn't.
True. Right.
He really doesn't.
So he's going to... It looks like he's actually about to be Quaking Punching for 40.
He does have the 3rd energy, though.
Well, the other thing here that's useful is he does have a life, so at least Quaking Punch that's not going to evolve into a Greninja if he wants to.
Right.
But I still don't... Yeah, there's no... I would be shocked if he actually Grenade Hammered here. Because he has not shown that tendency whatsoever, and he's been in a lot worse places. Yeah, he got completely baited into doing this.
Well, he couldn't play down the 3rd energy because he did attach and then elixir to it, but still.
Like, he got pretty much baited in this. Like Chris,
and there goes the end.
Look at this. We got triple Greninjas on board because he... And again, it's just one of those things where he's just going... Again, because of his tendencies previously, Chris is able to take advantage of that and just get full value out of this.
If Chris is able to keep rough seas off the field, he is going to make Cameron really consider doing... if he does realize that...
Quaking Punch is not the way to go.
Right, if it isn't his, Slicer Toad's only attack.
Right.
Because he's going to be putting 30 damage on his bench.
You do play water energies in your deck. This is not Totino. So we'll see what he does here. Now, the interesting play here is actually from Chris's side is do you actually Shadow Stitch or do you go for the 100 damage here? Because the thing is he's not going to be able to heal anything because he's a dump 3 rough seas.
Right.
So you can't stop the game. You just dive ball.
Okay. Oh, he's dive ball.
Yeah, stop the game.
All right, so we do have
a momentary. No. So we do have. So
I think they caught it. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not sure what just happened here. He noticed immediately after he did it.
The first time Quaking Punch became effective.
Yeah. So we are going to pause the game here. Hopefully,
a judge is on his way.
Judge is on the way. I think they noticed it pretty quickly. Because you can tell Chris is just like, yeah, I know I did.
I goofed.
So hopefully it doesn't lead to a consequence of any sort. We will see what happens here.
They did shuffle the deck immediately after.
Right, he did shuffle it, which I mean, it doesn't technically change. I don't know how Pokemon Joes are, but it does technically change the odds on anything because he doesn't know what the top card is.
Right.
There's not a puzzle involved or anything, so it doesn't technically change the probabilities of what he's drawing. It does change the true order of the deck, but doesn't affect the probabilities of anything.
And Chris is unfortunately down a dive ball, which is pretty important for that break.
Well, except he can't play the dive ball, so he's not really down the card. But it's actually better for him to be
does it stay in his hand?
Well, it's better it is better for him for it to be in the discard than it is for it to be in his hand, right? Because it's a dead card right now. So yeah, just go back to the hand and.
It looks like they're just going to continue from there.
Yeah, so I think Chris here, you're going to interesting spot where, like, how much are you gambling on the fact that Cameron is going to quick and punch you?
True.
Now, I would really assume that he would grenade hammer, given the opportunity to get rid of his like only energy on board. So I think you have to moonlight slash here, do your 80, and then get the energy back because you need to make sure you're still into attack right turn. Because that's gonna be your best way to work. You gotta attack right turn.
Yeah.
There's one thing
With no rough seas on the field, everything damage is going to stick.
If
You
there's-
need to get it there.
Yeah, if there's one thing I want to stress in the match, it's that like just attacking for the most damage every turn is probably correct unless you're shadow stitching with your ninja. And even then, I still think that if you got your ninja breaks out, you probably still do
it does look like Cameron may get a prize out of this.
So Cameron is gonna get. It looks like he is gonna get a prize penalty out of this. We're not sure yet, but he did reach for a prize card. So yeah.
And it is official. He did get a prize
He does
card.
get a prize penalty. Now the awkward thing is that could actually be beneficial to Chris, because Chris does play ace trainer.
And now he can ace trainer.
Right. So now that doesn't especially given the fact that Chris drew a dead hand.
Oh, he did go for the moonlight slash.
Yeah, he has to because he's long range. Now the thing is that now, God, I hope Cameron grenade hammer. Like I'm telling you, you want to grenade hammer here. And
he does have an elixir.
And he also
has an
there we go. We are grenade hammering. Okay. Now, you know what also would have been great is playing one of those two rough seas you discarded, but like because he's gonna hurt himself and it's gonna get his clock shorter again.
And he hits another water energy.
I think Cameron is actually going to end up winning this series, but I'm not gonna like how he won because at this point he's got all the advantage. But the thing here is, prize penalty actually does help Chris because it does give him another out to draw.
And he still has that dive ball, so he can get.
No, he can't play the dive ball. Okay, yeah,
because he will be able to next turn.
Yeah, because he's going to grenade hammer. He's got most likely he'll grenade hammer.
Yeah. Oh, he better. He put 3 water energy on him.
Yeah, he's in, man. He is all in.
The problem is now, though, with him being able to play the dive ball and getting a break, he's going to be able to knock that thing out without even.
He's going to watch out to it, right? But now Cameron's already setting up the Aurora's for the Fury Belt, and that is how you win this matchup.
Yep.
Like that's how you put the icing on the cake. Like the game plan we were talking about before, it looks like he's going to be actually executing the game plan that I think is fundamentally the best way to beat this deck if you actually do play the Aurora.
Chris has 2 choices right now. It's either get rid of the attackers or do everything you can to 180 all of those shaman, all those mana fees, and try to get 6 prizes right out the gate. But it is going to be a difficult fight with him knocking out all of your Greninjas.
Exactly. Yeah, because he's going to be able to grenade hammer, and then next turn he's going to be able to.
And there goes an N.
Yeah, and the next turn he's going to be able to KO the break, assuming the Fear Ball and he gets energy with the Auroras.
Mm-hmm.
Now the good news for Chris here, the storyline is that Auroras does force you to not attack the next turn.
True, but it does have free retreat.
It does have free retreat, but it's gonna be tough to hit another attacker because he still needs 2 energies to even attack with this thing.
You know what though? He might, if he can get the energy on there, and this is a big if, he will be able to attack with Auroras and then swing in the mana fee and get some free heal.
Potentially, if he has to hit,
but he has to get 4 energy out of the field. Yeah.
We've seen it before. So we'll see. All right, so we got Wally. Okay, I don't know what else Chris is getting here. We got the water energy. Oh, that's the main thing.
So Trainer's Mill, VS Seeker,
we are gonna
Rare Candy.
So we don't actually have the knockout on it yet. However, it is relatively likely.
We see a Super Rod and a VS Seeker in Cameron's hand off of the Trainer's Mail.
Yeah, nothing too. VS Seeker. I'm not sure.
It goes for the Super Rod.
He's probably gonna try to get the water energy back in
Absolutely.
after the toad gets down.
Absolutely.
So.
And that's going to give him the heal and the Aurora's attack.
Unfortunately, we've only got mana half left.
Oh, +3. Well, he does have prize advantage.
It has to be a complete game.
Oh.
So it looks like this game's gonna. I don't know if there's a concession agreement in place because that will happen at the top tilts at the end of turns, as I'm sure a lot of people who play this game know. But again, this is the issue where like game 2, I think that's gonna bite him because I think he's got the advantage this game, but he played this really long, slow game.
Long.
Yeah, he wasted, in my opinion, at least 5+ minutes just quick and punching for no value. Where if you just grenade hammer, just grenade hammer, Chris passes. And now I see as time was dwindling down that could end up costing him the series.
Do you put it on the mana fee and give him that easy
Yeah, the thing is now that mana fee's all void. So the mana fee's now like actually within Shuriken range.
Yeah,
so
I would have put it on the Hoopa.
So the thing is if Chris actually plays Muscle Man, he can actually take 4 prizes this turn.
Ooh.
He would need to hit a lot of things,
but it is possible.
It is possible. And one of those where, again, I think I would have also put on Hoopa as well.
Yeah, you do not want mana fees 90.
Because it's so easy for him to kill the Shamans and the mana fees.
Yeah, much easier than the Hoopa.
So, we'll see what happens here. So he hits the Trainer's Mail, does some stuff. But again, there's not enough time left. So both players are going to, so it looks like both these players are going to be stuck with tie because, okay, so he's going to Sacred Ash. Yeah, there's like 0 chance in this game this not ending in a draw at this point. Like, I would be absolutely floored. So
All right, so we see the
just attach the wheel. He's gonna attach the warranty, and I think he's gonna
Ace
end.
trainer.
No,
Oh, no, that's an end.
That's
Yeah,
an end.
yeah,
That's an
yeah.
end. That's an end.
The flowing hair.
He's gonna end here. So he's looking for a Greninja break and 2 water energies. And a muscle band.
Not
So he's
completely
looking for a
unfeasible.
lot.
He is looking for quite a bit.
Like, I don't know if he plays muscle band either. I would assume he plays at least 1 or 2.
That's usually standard for these decks.
Usually standard. I feel like I don't feel like we've seen one in his build, although we've seen multiple Greninja decks on stream. But yeah, he's looking for, if he can hit 2 RNGs on a break, that would be
Well,
at least
there's 1 on energy.
He is not gonna. He is not even
the
gonna
Jirachi
be close.
and
Not even
another
close. Okay.
N.
So once again, you see that Greninja just is clunky, and again, this is one of the best options to just try to end the game as quickly as possible with this deck.
With the trainer's mail.
So this is huge because is he still gonna be able to KO this Toad?
I don't think so.
And we are in impulsory turn, so it's gonna be 0, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to they're still playing. So again, I don't know if there's any concession agreement in place.
He does throw 30 damage on the Toad.
So that is a knock. Yeah, that is a knockout.
That was the knockout.
He
Yep.
got 2. So he needs to. What's he need here? So he's only got 1 turn to pick 4 cards. It's not impossible. Yeah, I think it's not impossible. Let me. It's not possible. If he gets 2 Greninja breaks, he can then double War, down War, Shuriken the Shaman, and then Cameron. This is again why you don't get rid of the rough seas because again it is possible for him to go Lysander, Ban, Water to kill them. He needs a lot of cards. His hand doesn't have any of these cards, by the way.
Getting rid of those rough seas in the beginning
again,
is hurting
it's
him.
not. His hand has none of these cards that he needs right now. Yeah. To be fair, but it's one of those where it's an out and it's just actually frustrating me. And he promoted the Hoopla, so he's clear. So no, I don't think there's a concession agreement in play. Cameron's clearly going for a tie if he's promoting Hoopla.
Yeah.
Because if he was going for the win, he'd actually be promoting the Auroras here. So Cameron is clearly going for the draw at this stage, which I don't disagree with, because he can't win the game, and Christopher actually could hypothetically win the game.
We see a megaphone.
2 dive balls. That's cool. So we'll get Greninja breaks, but we don't have any supporters yet.
He did hit a megaphone, so Auroras is going to lose that extra 40 HP.
Yeah, but I don't think that's bad. I feel relatively secure in saying that this match will end in a draw because, again, if he was going for the win, he would have promoted the Auroras here. And it looks like there is not a concession agreement in place. So it looks like that both these players will once again be playing in a win in the next round. But again, if Cameron had, played faster, we might have actually been able to complete this game. But, things happen. So, but yeah, it looks like this is likely to be a draw here.
He does get the energy switch, but there's no he doesn't want to really put it on the Hoopla.
Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, I mean, you're playing out your 3 turns to see if there's anything you can do.
Right.
And if I was Cameron, I would not have discarded that Fury Belt. I know that Chris has the Megaphone, but again, I would be putting that Fury Belt on one of my Shamans.
Oh, absolutely.
Or my man. Actually, I'd be putting it on my Manaphy or my Shaman. I don't care which. Probably the Manaphy because that's the target that he can hit. But I would have been Fury Belting that Manaphy no tomorrow because again, gotta make sure you don't lose here.
Absolutely.
You can't win. Make sure you don't lose. Again, Chris straight up has nothing. He can get dive ball and he's asking. Yeah, this is Chris's turn 2, I believe, and he's got double dive ball. But again, this game is definitely gonna be ending in a draw. And again, if you look at the board state, if Cameron had played game 2 quicker, he would be in a very favorable position because Chris really dead drew hard off of this. So it's a little. I don't know if Cameron's gonna look back at this and see that, but it's a little frustrating, at least for me watching that. Cameron really could have just won this series. But
it looks like there's going to be a judge ruling here.
Oh, I'm not.
It looks like Chris may have drawn 6 off of his N.
Wait, what?
And he only had 4 prizes.
Really?
Yeah, because he played 3 dive ball, but he still has 2 or 3 cards left. Or was it Cameron?
I don't really.
Oh, it's Cameron.
I don't know what's happening. Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna pretend like I know exactly how many cards people are playing or drawing right now. So
we're gonna see here
what happens. If nothing major happens, this will probably end up being a draw. Because again, as we were saying, it looks like there is not a concession agreement in place. So unless this judge ruling has a major impact on the game, it seems relatively likely that this ends in a draw, barring anything with extra drawn cards. And we see this matchup again, but again, I think we can both agree that the best way to approach the matchup from the Water Toolbox side is just to smash their face with as much damage as you can do.
Absolutely.
And I think Rob Davies gave us a great tutorial on that round 1, even though that ended in a draw.
Could have ended much worse.
Yeah, I think he had I believe he had good board position game 3, just didn't have enough time. Again, I think that's one thing we learned. Definitely, Watcher Lux is definitely, in my opinion, definitely a favorite against Greninja. It seems like just because the deck, even though it plays all these max elixirs, it just is. It flows a little better. Like you've got your free retreat easily. You know, you are playing Shamans, you are playing Hoopa, you are playing your Switch, and you're just playing basic energies. Like you're just you're finally just trying to bash people's faces in.
Yep. Grenade hammer all day.
Again, you don't have to do this. You don't have to wait until like turn 3 to actually do something. So I definitely think this Watcher Lux is what has been shown on screen to be a strong deck throughout the tournament. And again, we're waiting for a judge ruling here, so we'll let them sort that out. We'll be back with you.
And we're back. Sorry about that. We had to review everything to make sure that we could reverse the board state back to what it was before Cameron accidentally drew six cards off of the end instead of just the 4. So now we are back. Still 4 prizes.
Yeah, no prize fees appear to be being issued.
Just
and
the judge is actually reversing the game state back to what it was so that way we can avoid prizes. It still looks like the game is going to end in a tie.
I would say it's still like a relatively presumptive draw as long as prize fees are not handed out. It's still not confirmed on what exactly is going on the floor, but it looks like they're trying to reverse the game state so that this match can end in a draw. And so we're just kind of waiting on to see what exactly happens. Again, from up here, we know it really doesn't matter what Cameron draws because he can't win and he can't really lose. But if we can't reverse it, we might have to do something. So we're just gonna, kind of wait and see here essentially. Is where we're at here as we gear up for our last round. Hopefully, we won't have anything like this for our last round. Had a rough day with this a little bit, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, it's good that we're catching these things, but at the same time, they have been slowing down the games quite a bit. But you want to play fair. You want to make sure that everything's going right.
Yeah, we have the ability to do this because we don't have instant speed stuff that actually affects your opponent too much. So we do have the ability to rewind the game, so we do want to make sure we do rewind it. So, again, I think we can give credit to the chat on this one since, again, we were kind of we presumed that this was just went in and draw and nothing exciting was going to happen, so we were not exactly counting the cards that game because there was really no way for anyone to win here.
Yeah, this is looking like a tie. As soon as time went out, it was going to a tie.
This is still a presumptive draw here, and at this point we're just kind of waiting for it to be official as they're still kind of going through what's in his hand and
yeah, unfortunately by the time the judge was called, Cameron had gone through a trainer's mail and an ultra ball, which is quite a hard board state to reverse.
Right. It's just we're waiting here. Just the instant judgment kind of being like, okay, just stop. And actually, I think we'll come back to you after this is completely sorted out because we're still going through the hoops here. So we'll come back to you shortly. So we are going to join you guys back. It looks like we're getting closer to getting this completely resolved. At the very least, it looks like Cameron Sports Day has been relatively restored. Still not entirely sure what the final call is. The judges are still talking it over and talking to the players. I saw Cameron extend his hand. I'm not sure what that was for. But we still don't have a final ruling, but as you see, there is being like at least some board reversal here, and they're still trying to unwind this game state. But just hopping in for an update to keep you guys informed. But it looks like we are getting closer to this being fully resolved. Again, as long as there's not a double prize penalty issued to Cameron, this game just ends in a draw. I don't even think Chris has any cards in his hand that draw cards.
We see the head judge now also at the table, and honestly, with Christopher's hand, I don't see him drawing. I don't see him getting two prizes anyway.
Right. The big thing is again, I don't know exactly how they're ruling everything. It looks like they're going to completely rewind it, but like you can make the ruling that as long as they don't rule like something of like double or triple prize penalty here, like nothing's happening that changes the game.
But you got to make sure that
they could still rule that, I think, to be fair, because like Chris did do two searches that are pretty illegal and drew extra cards. So again, I don't know what their final ruling's going to be. It looks like they're reversing Christopher's board state, so we still don't know what final ruling is. Again, you can see Chris's hand. He can't. There's no way he can win the game, and there's no way Cameron can win the game. It's just they're going back. Okay, so they're having another conference. It looks like. Well, wait. Yeah, the head judge is leaving, and I'm not exactly sure. Looks like this is going to go on a little bit longer. But again, we still don't have a final ruling here, so I'm going to mute, and we will be back with you shortly. Okay, so we're back. There was one. We're not entirely sure what happened, and all right. So it did end up resulting in a tie there. It looks like there was a prize penalty issued to Cameron, but Chris drew a Greninja Break, which doesn't change anything as he still didn't have water energy. So